Hey, I'm Brian, and this is Real Estate Nuggets. I'm a mortgage broker, and I interview real estate agents from all across the country to kind of learn how they got to a certain level of success. And today we get to interview a good friend of mine, Heidi Hurst, who's in a part of the country that is burning, right? Are you getting a bunch of smoke and all that pollution from the fires?
Not currently. There's a little bit of a haze, but it's not so bad. It was really bad when Spokane was on fire. And we
Ugh.
always have fires in central Washington. It's just a
Well, all
thing
right.
in
So,
summertime.
so tell everyone exactly what market you're in.
I am in Tacoma, Washington. It is about 40 minutes south of the airport, about an hour south of Seattle, and we are a military town. And healthcare are the number one two drivers of our economy here. And of course, there's just it's a really pretty cool place. It's a lot nicer than Seattle. Yep, I threw that down. I
Ooh.
threw it down right there.
I'm not going to say a word. I have friends in both, so there. All right, let's get started by asking you two specific questions to kind of know
Okay.
like where you're coming from. So, how long have you been in real estate, and why did you get into real estate?
Well, I have been in real estate for 21 years. I got divorced and my real estate license in the same week. And why did I get into real estate? Everybody told me I should get into real estate when I was
What?
getting divorced.
Why did they tell you that?
I think because I'm outgoing and friendly, and I did a lot of service work. Yeah, I know, right? Fundraising for the school that my girls went to, for the Tacoma Art Museum, and so I was always out and being extroverted.
Hmm.
Um, and I went and interviewed with a broker who was looking for an assistant, and I thought, oh, that'll be consistent, hourly. I'll be able to get home at night for my kids, my daughters at the time. And yeah, he looked at me, and within 5 minutes, he's like, yeah, you're not going to be a good assistant. You need to go
Yeah.
get your license and sell real estate. And so I trusted myself and took the leap. Ta-da! So here we are.
Yay! And that was 21 years ago?
Over 21 years ago, yeah.
Over 21. All right. So think back to when you were starting, and there was this
Yeah.
period of time when you were obviously new and you were learning the ropes. What do you remember as being one of your biggest challenges to kind of getting started?
Well, two things I remember is that I didn't have any business. I knew a lot of people, but I was just newly divorced. I was very fragile. So, about rejection and our community and all sorts of things. So, I think I didn't have enough business and I needed the confidence to like go out and ask for business. And I was never really, I never door knocked. I never cold call people, and so because I couldn't take the rejection, and so I went to this seminar, and they were talking about how to build your business by referral,
Oh my God.
and I was like, wait a minute, this sounds like this is right up my alley,
So
and
that was in the
so
beginning?
that was at the beginning. Yeah, within
Okay.
a couple months, somebody said, let's go to this thing together, and I did, and it was life changing. That whole period of time where I was with that coaching company changed my life, changed the life of my daughters, changed the
Why?
life of my friends and my
Why?
friends' kids.
Why?
So,
Why was it life changing?
because it helped me grow as a person. It was about also like as a business owner, growing myself so that I could be a better person. And I'm naturally curious. And just going to events and connecting with people, knowing that I wasn't
Was that
alone.
Buffini or was that someone else?
That was Buffini for
Okay.
sure. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. And being coached, I signed up for coaching, I think within 9 months of being in real estate.
So
Because I
you,
just,
that's interesting. So you really didn't, if I can totally talk over you,
yeah,
you didn't have a period of time where you were in the business struggling on your own without any coaching or direction. You started off with coaching right from the start,
I
basically.
started off 9 months after I started in real
Nine
estate.
months. Okay. So
Yeah,
those 9 months were probably a little tougher.
they were really hard. Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah,
then after you kind of fell into coaching,
yeah,
I
yeah.
guess I guess my question for you is this. How did coaching help you in the beginning?
Well, Buffini gave me a system in order to work within, and my coach was keeping me accountable to my activities and calls and notes. And I built my business on writing a personal note to all these people that I was trying to just build a deeper relationship with. They had all kind of known me a certain way, and now I'm trying to be this professional who's helping them sell the most expensive thing or buy the most expensive thing they'll ever going to buy at that time. And I was trying to build some genuine credibility by being a good human being first. And then I also always had a mentor, like somebody who knew way more than me, and was willing to pay for that. But I definitely, my coach gave me structure and belief in myself.
I guess that, you know what, I kind of take that personally. I take that for granted because when you've been in coaching for, how long you been in? 21 years or whatever?
About 21 years, yep.
Okay, and I've been in it for 17 years, and I do take it for granted, not realizing that there might be people who are trying to figure out the business and how to do it. But yeah, that structure and that coaching and that accountability goes a long way.
Right.
So, all right, so why are you still in it?
Oh my gosh, because I'm really good at it.
No, coaching. Why are you still in coaching?
I thought you're like, why are you still in real estate? It's a good question.
No, obviously you're good at that. But no, why are you still in coaching after 21 years? Like the question would be like, what do you still need to be coached on?
Oh, like everything, like how to run a team, how to have a conversation with a teammate that may not be performing, how to structure a business, how to hire a teammate, how to solve problems as a business owner, what to look for in hiring, celebrating the joys and such. Yeah, with somebody.
So you haven't learned everything.
No, never. I'm never going to learn everything. But I sure as heck am trying.
Somebody once was describing to me, like, when you talk about business coaching, whether it's in lending or real estate or whatever.
Right.
And you talk about how you might have been in coaching for 17 or 20 years or whatever. Someone made the comparison of, look at the Michael Jordans of the world, who have been practicing their craft for decades, and they're at the top of their game. They're still working with many coaches, nutritional coaches, basketball coaches, all kinds of coaches. So yeah, I do think there's something wrong with the human being that we may learn everything, but then we also forget a lot of things too.
Right. I think the other thing is that I'm not the same person I was 21 years ago or 10 years ago or even 5 years ago or even last year.
How are you different now?
Oh, I'm more confident, I'm more assured, I'm more stable. I've grown a lot, so I have a lot more compassion and empathy, more insight. So I have more knowledge, and so I think once you have that knowledge, and you have a coach that's been with you for a long time, or a new coach, they can see things that you just can't see. Like I can't see some of the things that get in my way, or I can't remember how awesome I am, and so my coach is reminding me of how, like, I already crushed that and I'm good at that. So, I'm single. So, I don't have somebody in my corner going, wow, Brian, you're the best, man. Except for my coach and maybe my dog every once in a while when she's hungry. She might give me a little love. So
I should call you more often and tell you how awesome you are.
I know.
I'll call you next week, all right? Yeah,
we should tell everybody how awesome they are all the time. Yeah.
All right, so here's a different kind of question for you.
Okay.
It's really, most people will talk about how much they love real estate and how great it is, and it's just, puppy dogs and rainbows. But I think it's interesting to talk about how you handle rejection, because you probably have to face rejection daily, right, weekly, yeah, whatever. How do you handle it when you don't get the listing, or your buyer says, sorry, we're going somewhere else?
Right. Or my seller that I poured my heart into,
right,
who would only allow showings for a couple of hours a day, says, I think you are unprofessional and I don't want to work with you anymore.
That scenario. How do you handle that?
Yeah. I say, okay, I think this is a good idea. We should not work with each other anymore. Let me send you the paperwork. I think there is a point where you realize that no matter how hard you can work on someone's behalf, you may not be that person for them. You just may not be. So you have to let go of, I'm the best and I'm the greatest, because not everybody's going to vibe with somebody like me who's got sparkle in her hair and has got a lot of energy. Some people are questioning of that at times, but you sit down at a listing appointment or talk about a negotiation, and like this all goes away, and we are like dead serious about what we're doing. We are
I think you make a good point. You can't be everything to everybody. And I see it like even at if you take, for example, like an event, like you go to a Buffini conference and there's, 5,000 people in the room. You're going to love to see some people, you're going to like to see some people, and then there's some people you really don't want to see.
Yeah.
And that's just that's like a microcosm of your clients are the same. They're going to be clients across the board. And but it's still hard to handle the rejection. It's I think we get better at it as we get older, but it's still hard.
Well, I do have a team, and so I can say I've been rejected. And I've got people who are like, yeah, well, they weren't right for us anyways. So while I may take some things personally, I also can get in my own way on things, because my number one strength is woo, which is win others over. And my second one is positivity. So I'm always trying to win somebody over and like in a really positive way. And they may not be the person that I need to win over.
Yeah.
And I have learned that, in the last couple of years for sure. And so my team can be like, well, that wasn't the right one to win over. And I don't take it personally, because I'm like, you're right.
I heard someone today talking about mirroring. And when you, like that scenario where you're super positive and wooing, and that other person isn't the right receiver of that, you just have to kind of tone it down and mirror that person's energy?
Sometimes.
Depends
on who the other person is, yeah. I mean, I had a Zoom today with a buyer, a seller who bought 3 years ago and he lost their job and they can't get out of their house. And so we're talking short sales. So am I coming on with like Heidi Hurst personality? No, I'm talking about, this is some serious stuff that's going down right here. And these are big numbers we're talking about. And so this is not positivity and win others over. This is, you need some help. And so I can be here to help you, but you also have to make a bunch of phone calls and find an attorney and like reevaluate all sorts of stuff. So
maybe without not leaning with positivity as much as maybe leading with empathy.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that word. Okay, we're gonna keep moving.
Okay.
So you have 2 daughters, right?
Yes.
And how many son-in-laws? 1?
I have one son-in-law. My youngest daughter got married 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, it was perfectly them. It was perfectly lovely. I loved being the mother of the bride. I love being a mom. So let me just announce that to everybody. If you haven't met me, you will know that my girls mean everything to me, and I hope someday that I'll mean everything to them. But
I think you probably do already, but here's here's the question though. You've got these 2 girls and you've raised them.
Yeah.
How do you maintain a balance between your business and your personal life or your family life?
Oh, scheduling. I schedule with my girls.
What does that look like?
That looks like I drive all the way to Seattle to get my hair done, and then I put it in our group chat and say, who's having dinner with me tonight? And they know it's coming every 5 to 6 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, they're there. Okay.
Yeah, they're in Seattle. So we talk a lot. We're in group chats. Yeah, I don't know.
What I heard you say is that you don't just hope that it happens, you schedule it so it happens, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
It's smart. That's intentional.
It is, yeah. Because life gets busy and, things can keep moving along, and then all of a sudden it's the end of August and you're like, what happened to the year? And where did I spend my time intentionally with my family, etc.? So
do you feel like you are balanced between your work and your personal?
I think there are definitely seasons where I'm more balanced and seasons where I need to put my head down and hustle.
Yeah.
And I am okay with that. After 21 years, you just have to respect the calm that comes and not panic because you don't have the next thing coming.
That's an interesting choice of words. Respect the calm. I've told people that I've embraced it and I'm okay with it, but respecting it is a different type of approach. Kind of like
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Respect
Okay.
the calm.
All right. So here's a different question for you. I think you're pretty successful at what you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would agree. So my question is, why are you successful when there's so many people that aren't?
Yeah. I will definitely say because I'm a curious person and I want to do really well, which means that I take classes, like everybody has a certain amount of classes, and I take classes I could take the same classes every time I need to renew my license, and I'm always trying to take the basics and then also try to take stuff that I don't know anything about. Or if a problem comes up, having the resources to ask the questions. And I'm successful because I care about my clients. I am not in this for a transaction. I am in this for a relationship. And like, we don't have to be best friends afterwards, but I'm going to pour my heart and soul into this process. And I have a lot of information and knowledge and insights because I talk to other brokers all over the country. I have a great support system at my office. And I'm curious. I want to know, how can we solve that problem? How can we satisfy this next step? What's the best negotiation we need to take at this point? Like, are we going to be super aggressive? Are we going to pause? Are we going to talk our clients down, right, from the ledge? Like, I think it's just that, yeah, like I take this so seriously. What I do seriously. And we do ice cream day, and we do pie day, and we do pot buys, and I write notes. But I am so serious about what my career and my legacy that I get to leave with my reputation and my clients. Yeah, that's.
Do you feel like after 20 plus years, do you feel like you have gotten where you want to be, or are there more places you want to go with your business?
No, I feel like my business is steady. I tell our clients, like, I don't need to sell 100 houses a year. I only want to sell this amount, and I want my clients to have a great experience. And that's more important to me. That's more important to me than volume.
I've heard many stories of people in both your business and mine who grow and grow and grow, and they've got these large teams, and they do a lot of units, but their take home is pretty similar to what it might have been if they were just a single agent. So yeah, it makes you question what do you really want?
Right.
So that's my next question for you is, what do you really want?
What do I really want?
Mm-hmm.
I want to spend more time with my kids. What do I want from my business? I want it to not stay the same because nothing can stay the same, but we have a good vibe going right now with our team. And I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I want to grow. I'm traveling in the next month, and I love traveling because it helps me get out of my own brain and think creatively and think differently. And so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer. All right, so downshift or maybe left turn. If I asked you, what's your biggest failure and how did you recover from it, what would you say?
Is this business or personal?
You can answer it any way you want. How honest do you want to be?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I would say my marriages are probably my biggest failures. When I look back on it, I was a really good wife. I just didn't choose the right partner.
How long were you married?
I don't want to talk about that. I've been married twice, and so more like almost 10 years, 8 years, 15 years, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So that, I can imagine that's a pretty tough thing to go through. And so how did you recover from it?
I leaned on my friends. Therapy is good. Um, and honestly, I threw myself into work. So, yeah. And I don't have a large family, so I have most of the people that I would call my good friends around me are actually past clients, people I've done business with. And we've just shared enough that, because I'm pretty transparent about stuff, that I think I've just attracted some really cool people around me. Yeah. So
That's nice.
leaned into my community. Yeah.
Okay. All right. You answered that well. Good job. This is an easier question.
Okay.
When, let's say, like I was just talking to Jeremy about this today. I was saying we need to figure out what to do when it's slow, like right now. It's slow. There's nobody calling. You notice no one's called
Right.
during these last 21 minutes.
Pick up the phone, people. Pick up the phone.
So, what activity is your most reliable method of generating business for you? So when you're
Oh,
slow, what are you going to do?
write notes.
Really?
Yep.
Why? Why is that your thing?
Gosh, because do you know how cool it is to get a note in the mail that somebody's handwritten for you?
I do because I got one. I got one like yesterday, and I loved it.
Don't you love it?
Look at the penmanship on this thing.
Oh yeah, really nice.
It's
Really
real too.
nice.
It's real.
Yes.
And I told her, I said, your penmanship's amazing, and she said she used to be a teacher.
I did not. My penmanship is not nice. So to get a handwritten note, so my daughter and her now husband got married 2 weeks ago, and they wrote a handwritten note for every person at the wedding.
And why is that I get how that's a nice thing to get. How is that your most reliable method of generating business?
It's my way of telling people that I care, that I'm paying attention, that I'm interested, that I have a tidbit of knowledge, that I'm here to serve, that I saw that their father just passed away, and I know how that feels. They want to go for a walk.
And so how many notes do you usually write in a given day? Is
I
is it a
chunk
daily
I
thing or is it
no,
just as you go?
I chunk it up. I call it chunking. So I do like 20 at a time. I
Oh,
commit
wow.
to my team that I'll do 8 a week,
Okay.
but I may not do 8 this week. But next week I'll do like 20 because I like to be an overachiever.
Okay. That's cool. So one more question about your notes. When you are writing a note, like let's say you're writing a bunch of notes, are they all focused on what's going on with who you're writing to, or is it more you sharing what's going on with you? Or is it both?
Both.
Yeah.
It depends. Mostly it's about them. Like I'll see somebody fell and like broke his leg, and they're not really in my sphere. They're not a past client of mine, but I just sent a note and I was like, dude, like I get it. I fell last year and broke my shoulder, and
Yeah.
like I get falling down and how that is like a wake up call to like a different time of life. So I sent that off to him, and he messaged me through social media, and he's like, "Thank you so much for that note, because that is so true." So
Yeah.
it's just stuff like that, trying to relate to people, and
I will say this. I mean, it's certainly nice, and I like to receive them, and I hope that the people I send them to like to receive them from me. Nobody really does it. So it's a differentiator also. Like, I mean, as many notes as you write and I write, how many do you receive? Very few?
um,
And I'm not talking
not
about other realtors. I'm just saying, people
not
who are,
never, hardly any. Yeah.
Right.
I might get a little note from like a friend in the neighborhood who dropped something by, but the fact that my daughter, who I put this on a web page that we share, like we're part of a group, that like when she was a teenager, I said, you should send a thank you note to that person, and she's like, I don't like thank you notes. Da, 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 da. Now she's 31 now, so I hate to like call her out as being a teenager, but like the evolution of me sending notes to my daughters over the last
yeah.
however many years, you're my sunshine girl, you're my favorite, like all of the things. And then to get one from my daughter and her now husband as part of the legacy of this right?
You just gave me a great idea.
Okay.
You gave me a nugget.
Yes. Write your kids. I was at my daughter's place, stayed the night at her place up in Seattle before the wedding, and like all the cards that I have sent her are tapped up. And I would say like 90% of those cards that are up from her mom.
That's great.
She'll never forget how much I love her,
Yeah.
even though I tell her that all the time. Yeah.
All right, 2 more questions. You're almost
Okay.
there. So imagine I'm someone who's thinking about getting into real estate, right? What's one piece of advice you would give me if I was thinking about starting out?
I always tell people that if they've started and they're talking with me, so interview a few different brokers, and then find a mentor in the business. Find somebody that has a lot of knowledge that does business, because there's a lot of people around here who've been in the business, but they don't really do a lot of business. And understand that as you are doing that, it's like your little college experience where you're going to have to pay for this person's knowledge and teaching, whether it's pay out of pocket or time or like sitting open houses for this person, so that you have the opportunity to be in the room when it happens. So that person, you'll provide value to that person by time and effort, and that they will provide knowledge and information to you when you desperately need it.
Yeah, they'll give you the experience that you wouldn't have had on your own, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Find a mentor.
Okay. I'd like to ask why, but you've answered these questions so well that I'm not even having to ask why. You're giving great answers.
Thanks, Brian.
You're welcome. Do you have an exit strategy for the business? Not for
I
this
don't
call.
have an exit strategy. I expect
No?
to be working for at least another 10 years, as long as my brain can keep up with it. And I do find as the older I get, like the volume at times of what I do, like I definitely need somebody to be like double checking me, because when you're closing 8 or 9 a month. Now let me just say, you have one the month before and then everything else is closing the next month. It's not like every month I'm closing 9, but there is a capacity that my brain, I am realizing, can't take on as much. So yeah.
You are preaching to the choir. I can feel that this year especially.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm not gonna require you to give me a different answer, but if you've got another 10 years,
Right.
have you started to think about, have you thought about thinking about how am I going to end this? Or really are you not the kind of person that dwells on it for 10 years?
I am definitely not the kind of person who thinks long term. Like maybe 5 years. I'm spectrum specific, so I'm focusing here, and then I'll go out a little bit, but I'm not a big long term thinker. I know that there are people who've done it in my industry and my area around here, who've done it well, except that the person that took over is struggling, because that other person during that transition just kept handing that kid business, and then that kid doesn't know what the hell he's doing now because he doesn't know how to lead generate. So yeah, I think it's really unique to be a good lead generator in real estate.
Yeah.
So
It's 29 minutes and 4 seconds, and we've done what we've set out to do. So thank you, Heidi.
you're welcome. Thank you, Brian.
Really, I appreciate your time. You did a great job.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for the good questions. It's always a delight to talk to you, Brian.
Thank you, Heidi Hurst.